Stefano indicated, we've got a really tight packed program today, so we are going to run a tight ship. And as you've heard, we've got a fantastic whistler in the house. So if anyone goes over, much over their 10 minutes, you will get a whistle. So the next session is on urine processing to liquid fertilizer. Call me Jason Pryor for this session. I'll be your chat. We've got 4 speakers. Firstly, we're going to hear from Sean presenting about the NiCE loo. We had an initial update. Sean, oh, you're it's so quick.
Am I too loud?
And then we have Stefano and Sherab and am I pronouncing that correctly? Chile, I apologize about that. Next, thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, everybody, to join this summit. So I'd like to introduce our project NiCE Loo. We have a collaboration with Southeast Water and Melbourne University. And last almost 2 years, we have designed the NiCE Loo technology. So what we have our technology for membrane bioreactor, and then we combine with our male and female toilet, and how we can try to mobilize our NiCE Loo. So that's our target, and then we got support from the Southeast Water for funding, and we designed for this membrane bioreactor. So we have 200 liters of our urine to fertilize conversion technology, membrane bioreactor. We just say herbal technology. And then we have tested it for last almost half a years, and then optimize this process. And we can allocate this one in the trailer, in the middle of the space of the trailer, and then we can mobilize this membrane bioreactor system. And then we look at what's the difference from the lab scale performance and this pilot scale. And in fact, not pilot, it's a full scale of our membrane technology. And we made similar to like a refrigerator size. So this is very easy to mobilize and easy to carry. Also, we can have some small space occupation. So very compact and robust herbal technology. So this is performance. So we have collected our urine from this building. So I'm sure that you already donate kindly for your urine, and we collect from the basement. Now we are operating in the upstairs. So if you want to see this herbal technology, it's on the operation, the level 12. So during lunchtime, after lunch, and you can just visit there, and we can show you around if you're interested to see. So we can organize just very short visit of our laboratory and technology, also basement urine diversion system. So this is our result for last almost we have operated 160 days. Yeah. So initially in ammonia and then nitrate concentration. So we like to have a balanced ammonia and nitrate fertilizer because they are one of the most widely used nitrogen sources. So we put the initial concentration a little bit lower to stabilize our bacteria, aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. And then finally from day 75, so you can see the second result of the space, HLT7, HLT5, HLT3, and HLT1. So depending on the HLT, so what kind of the fertilizer component, ammonia, nitrate, nitrite, so what kind of the component we produce, and then this kind of nitrogen source, how this will impact overall our plant growth. So that's we compare. So HLT7, which means there is no nitrite, so mostly ammonia nitrate. And then when you have HLT5, so you can see the gray color is the nitrite concentration. So you can see the little bit of high concentration of the nitrite. So you can see that on the top of our ammonia nitrate concentration. So there is some concentration is there, and then HLT3 and then HLT1 day. So they increase because they don't have enough time to convert the nitrite to nitrate. So when you have a smaller the HLT, so we have a more high concentration of the nitrite. So we test it as it is because nitrite also itself can be a good fertilizer as a nitrogen source, even though ammonia nitrate are the most widely used fertilizer. But we look at what's the impact of the nitrite concentration in this system. So you can see the concentration overall ammonia HLT 7531 day. Now you can see the ammonia concentration initially around 3.5 gram per liter, HLT 2 gram per liter, 2.2 gram per liter, HLT 3 days 2 gram per liter, and then HLT 1 day 1 gram per liter. So you can see those nitrate concentration was very much similar 0.4, 0.1, 800, 500 milligram per liter. And nitrite, so when you have a very high HLT, so most of the nitrate are gone. And then when you see the HLT1, so they have a very high concentration of nitrite. So what's the nitrite concentration will impact overall our fertilizer performance. So this is we also design. So we have done the plant demonstration. Then we found that mostly nitrite performance is very much similar to our ammonia nitrate concentration. So which means we diluted our fertilizer because initial the urine fertilizer concentration is almost 10 gram per liter. So you need to dilute your fertilizer 10 times, at least 10 times. Otherwise, you will have osmotic pressure and the plant will be dry because water is coming out through your osmotic pressure. So you dilute your concentration, HLT1, the nitrite concentration was 1 gram per liter. So you dilute to 10 times, which means 100 milligram per liter of nitrite concentration. So it can be used as a good fertilizer as it is. So that we found out based on our operation, so we can use even though HLT1 because nitrite doesn't really impact much. But it's true, like when you have HLT longer 7 days, ammonia nitrite fertilizer has a little bit better performance of your plant growth. So that's the overall our finding from our project. And then we have two options to operate this condition. Rather than if you have too much urine coming through your reactor, so we can have a first like a high flow rate, and then you have HLT 1 day, a little bit faster. Then even though you have a high nitrite concentration, it can be used as a fertilizer. But if you don't have enough urine, so we just operated our MBR system for pH adjustment based on you have AOV bacteria, and then this will decrease the pH. So we add our high pH urine, hydrolyzed urine, and then you can adjust the pH around 6 to 6.5, which is the most favorable pH for AOV, NOV bacteria for nitrification. So we have two options to operate. One is depending on the pH, we can control when we don't have enough urine. But when you have a lot of urine, so we can just decrease the overall HLT. And then even though there are a lot of nitrite concentration, but it can be also used as a fertilizer. So based on this one, so we have designed the trailer, and Ibrahim was Southeast Water people. We collaborate together to look at how we can make a good female male toilet. In the middle, so you can see this is the male toilet, and the other side is female toilet. You can see the pedestal toilet 3, and then we have a male toilet 2, and then one is the pedestal toilet. So we have designed this one, and then in the middle space, so we located all the storage tank and ambient system. We will mount it in the middle of the trailer. Then we have a urine diversion toilet we purchased from the Urimed, as well as Raufen. So this is the male urinal. So you can see, you can buy just $1,000. Then you have also LCD monitor there. So you can have some educational program. Also, Professor Joe showed a lot of nice videos. So we will just put together. Then you can, while you are doing P, and then you can see some of the education nutrient recovery system. Also, we have purchased Raufen. So this is pedestal toilet. You can convert the urine and feces. So we also installed our urine diversion toilet system, and then how we can collect the urine. And then we just pump to the storage tank in the middle, and then we process our urine to fertilize and apply directly on the parkland and the space. That's what we have designed. So you can see the design from the last 1 year, and then this is we already completed, and it's coming to Sydney very soon. And then we will also make sure that all the plumbing code and the connected all the urine diversion pipeline, and then our ambient urban technology, and we can stabilize this system and try to move around Sydney Parkland, also Melbourne, possibly Brisbane. So we will see how we can collect better and operate this NiCE system. So this is timeline, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sean. That was fantastic to hear that update, and thank you for sticking to time. So already up here, keeping to time is Stefano, and he'll be speaking on upscaling and field demonstrations of UGOL technology. Thank you. And when you're down to 1 minute, you will get
Oh, I got my orange light already. So, yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a different presentation. Initially, this is a really engineering-oriented trial, but so far, I think it has been mostly a piece related to engagement with regulators. So I'll focus on that. I've got some results too, but I also presented those results yesterday. So for those of you who are not there in my talk, they'll be recorded, they'll be available, so you can take a look. So that will help me to just shorten my presentation to less than 10 minutes. So UGOL technology is one of the 2 technologies that we are proposing, or we were proposing at the start of the hub, the other one being Urval, led by Sean. And UGOL is sponsored by Urban Utilities in Brisbane, and therefore we want to have the trial there, or they want to make sure that the trial is happening there. This is going to be a scaled up trial where we'll install a system to make fertilizer on site at the back of a public toilet block in a park. So we started this conversation in 2021, and when we were preparing the hub. And this is a beautiful rendering of what it will look like. So it's a container in the back. So it's a half container. So it will house the pilot system. So this toilet block exists. It's real. It's already there, and we will just engage a contractor to pull out the existing toilets, half of the existing toilets, replacing them with, in this case, the Worstman EcoFlush rather than the Laufen, so that we can trial a different range of urine separating toilets. So the one you can see on the right there separates urine from feces and uses minimal flush water, as opposed to the Laufen, which is 0 flush water. So this one relies on a little bit of flush, but it's 300 milliliter per flush. So it is not very much, but we will have to then deal with that water as we collect the urine. The urinal instead is entirely waterless. There's many models available. They're all watermarked, approved. And so this one is Uridan, which is one of the brands available. Next door, you have the Caroma Zero, and then you've seen another one from Sean's presentation. So Victoria Park is a site, the site that was proposed by our partners, City Parklands, that manages Brisbane Parklands on behalf of Brisbane City Council. So this is it used to be a golf course, and now it's been reconverted to being a public park. And it's also, so it's actually a site where the Lord Mayor is aiming to deliver the most livable park for Brisbane. So it's a highly sensitive location, and also penciled in for some of the Olympic sports. What do you call horse riding? What's the proper word? Question? Yeah. So yeah, nice place for global spotlight. But it's built, but it's not there. Why? So this is the history. So it's let's start from site confirmed at Victoria Park. That was at the start of NiCE. So NiCE was awarded in 2021. So we were already talking with City Parklands at the time, and we were going to do it at Roma Street, and eventually it landed in Victoria Park. So 2021. Then we worked out that to be able to do this, we would need an amendment to the Queensland, in this case, plumbing and drainage regulation. Latest version is 2019, to enable plumbers to install the system behind the toilet. So the Plumbing and Drainage Act states that no toilet waste is to be sent anywhere else than a sewer. So this one ultimately goes to sewer, but because it goes through a system, and that system we have actually access to a product, so this is not compliant with the existing plumbing codes. It's plumbing codes are really old things, and they were designed to keep people safe so that you won't go and muck around and get fecal matter on you, so that you don't get sick. But there has been no need to update these for a long time. But from talks from people from United States, South Africa last year, it's pretty clear that some of the same constraints exist all around the world. So it's not a peculiar problem of Australia. Here we just have to deal with a separate one with each state, which is a little bit annoying. And the Sims in Victoria is a little bit easier. There's a form, and if a certified plumber signs off on it, then it's going to be approved. But Queensland is different. So December 2021, first walk through the site. So that was right after we celebrated NiCE being awarded, and very excited to visit and see the place where our pilot would be set up. So then we moved pretty quickly and engaged with the relevant regulator, and we had our first meeting involving the regulator and the Brisbane node CIs. Cara was there, and Urban Utilities was there at Victoria Park in March 2022. The relevant regulator in Queensland is the Department of Energy and Public Works. Public Works oversees the construction industry. Then we have a big gap there. There was a lot of exchange of emails, and no one was understanding what they were saying. So Cara was kind of the mediator because she has history dealing with regulators, but I think she didn't quite understand them either. They were just speaking a different language. And to this date, I don't understand what they're saying to me. But one step at a time, we met them and we made friends. So we ended up being good friends with them because of this regular exchange of emails. where we all had a laugh at not understanding each other. But then 1 year later, April 2023, we had prepared a pretty big document so that we had to submit. There was initially a business case for City Parklands and Brisbane City Council, where we all put in a fair bit of work, the risk assessment, some drawings, engineering drawings, and this all formed a submission through the Department of Public Works to the relevant minister, Queensland Minister Mick Brennan, who was the Minister for Energy, Hydrogen, Renewables, and Housing. So I think quite a lot of things, but he is the person that was going to sign off on this. And so our friends at the department got busy and tried to help us. There was in between a requirement by the Minister Office to see a formal approval by Brisbane City Council, which relatively quickly was arranged. So September 2023, we got a letter of approval from Brisbane City Council. So, all great. So then almost a year and about 9 months passed after that. And finally, in May 2024, we saw a draft of the amendment. So it was nice to see amendment of regulation with written in government language. So like it felt like we're really starting to achieve something here, and then when we saw that, we thought this is it. Pretty much, it was written, and we said, okay, we were starting to celebrate, and then they came back and said, wait a minute, the regulation amendment needs to be approved by the governor. And Queensland, Jeanette Young, well known during COVID times as the Chief Health Officer of Queensland. And then after a few attempts, the governor said that now we must wait for the next government. There's an election. And so, yeah, this is a story, 2021 to 2024, and ongoing, but we are pushing, we are battling hard, and I think we will get it. But this is what really needs to be done. And, talking about barriers, this is not a small one, because it takes us 3-4 years just to get an amendment that allows us just to do our pilot at that location. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to start late and finish early in the best of cases. What does it mean for our collaborative projects? They will be affected. Let me know during the question time what you need from the pilot when it's up, so that when it's actually ready to go, we can quickly work together, because we will have to work within a limited window. So we'll stop it here, because the rest of the stuff that I have here, you can find in my CESE presentation. Thank you.
It was a great demonstration of frustration. Hopefully we'll get there in the end. So next up we have Sherrod representing the team on nutrient recovery using membrane technology. Please come on down.
Good morning. So this is the work that together with the Origin Water International. I think Jane is not here. So I think I'll skip this because everybody knows linear economy and the circular economy. So I see this is the basis for our research here. And actually what we were doing is as you heard from Sean and Stefano, we're trying to convert urine into as much as possible fertilizer. So the problem is, of course, that when urine is hydrolyzed from urea to ammonia is volatile, and pH increases, and then also micropollutants are there, and there's a lot of smell problems. So this is what we're trying to be solving the problem through the use of membrane bioreactor to firstly to convert ammonia into nitrate through biological nitrification without having to use any chemicals, and also of course try to sanitize it so they make it safe for reuse as fertilizer. And then we use that, so we're using membrane bioreactor, means we use ultrafiltration membrane because that can reject most of the bacteria and virus. And of course, we try to degrade any organics that's present. And of course, then it removes the unpleasant pungent smell from the ammonia. So of course, we are able to recover completely the NPK fertilizer, but there's still challenges. Just they not able to remove pharmaceuticals and the micropollutant that's present in that. And also this high ammonia concentration, as Sean was mentioning earlier, HRT also impacts. The longer the HRT, of course, it treats well, better. We have a higher conversion rate from ammonia to nitrate, but the problem is you increase your capital, the size of the treatment plant. So that is adding to the cost because of the extended hydraulic retention time. So we are seeing how we can reduce this footprint. So one area we've been doing is to see how activated carbon by powder activated carbon, if you can put it there inside the reactor. We don't do much, but just put it inside the reactor and see how it improves. So as you can see from this, okay, so this graph here, so the orange one, it's is the MBR alone without activated carbon, and the other one, shaded one, is with the activated carbon. As you can see, it's the removal efficiency is much higher, and so the TOC removal is also higher. So the conversion rate is much higher. So that the micropollutant removal is 99%. So if you use just the normal MBR, it's only about 45 to 98%. Some of them are not like less than 40% removed. But as you add the micropollutants, then the PAC, then it significantly improves. So in that way, we don't have to do much in terms of capital costs, just adding a little bit of things helps it. So this is one of the findings. I think this we have already published with Jade Jing as the first author. So here, and then in the second approach, what we tried to do was now, in the first approach here, when we added the PAC, we're able to solve the micropollutants problem, but the other problem still remains, the extended aeration. So hydraulic retention time doesn't really impact by adding the PAC, because PAC concentration we had to control. No, we didn't put a lot. Now, what we did was, okay, we tried to put something here so that we incorporated biofilm barriers there. So we have this plastic bits that commercial one. So we put it there. What the idea is that it can provide the surface area for more bacteria to grow inside, and then in the process, may be able to accelerate the nitrification, and then so in that way we can reduce the HRT. So when you reduce HRT, of course, then we have lesser footprint. So from here you can see that by incorporating this the biofilm carriers, we're able to reduce improve the nitrification rate, like 36% improve the nitrification rate. So that is a significant the reduction in the hydraulic retention time. So hydraulic retention time is at 40%. So from 10 days, say for the week, to able to remove to reduce to around 6 days. So that's one of the achievements that we're working into for reducing this definitely, but this is just the initial experiments that we've been doing. Then third, the research progress that we've been doing is trying to understand how the temperature and the amount of dissolved oxygen impacts the biological nitrification process for the urine treatment. So we did initially earlier studies, but this one we tried to delve in bit more detailed. And then so you can see from here we tried it 10 degrees Celsius, 20 and 30. We didn't do it much because it's usually requires a lot of reactors. So we did 3, and then we just mentioned in terms of nitrification, the rate of nitrification and the hydraulic retention time. So as you can see from here, actually, for 10, 20, and 30 degrees Celsius, you'll see that here only most of the time it is the 20 degrees Celsius is the quite optimum. And even if you try to increase the DO, say beyond 4 milligram per liter, it doesn't really, it just slow, in fact, it reduces the nitrification rate. So it's no point doing that. So from here, it is, the normal temperature is quite efficient for nitrification rate. And also HRT, you could see up to here. Of course, we're planning to do more than this one, like 8 days. But yeah, you can see that because we don't have the data in between, so it could significantly reduce the HRT. So from here, you can see that increasing or decreasing the pH, the temperature doesn't really impact doesn't really improve the process. And the same thing with the dissolved oxygen. So of course, this is some of the results from the test applications of the urine fertilizer. So it's from here, I can summarize that, it's basically is almost comparable to the commercial hydroponic fertilizers with our urine. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Very much for the update. So we have one final speaker. We will have some time for Q&A from Shilian, speaking on achieving nitrogen from mainstream sewage treatment using human waste.
Thank you. So today I will talk about the project related to wastewater treatment, that is to achieve nitrogen removal while nitrate pathway using human waste. So this project was awarded to both Professor Shang and myself. So during wastewater treatment, we need to achieve nitrogen removal. Generally speaking, nitrogen removal is achieved through nitrification and denitrification. That is, ammonium is first oxidized to nitrite by the so-called ammonia oxidizing bacteria, that is AOB, and then nitrite is oxidized to nitrate by the so-called nitrite oxidizing bacteria, that is NOB. Then the nitrate is reduced to nitrite and then nitrogen gas. From the graph, this slide, you can see that for the nitrogen removal process, we need both oxygen and also organic carbon. Then if we can selectively remove the NOB from the wastewater treatment system, then we can achieve nitrogen removal while nitrite shunt. That is, ammonia is only oxidized to nitrite, then nitrite can be directly reduced to nitrogen gas. If we can achieve nitrogen removal while nitrite shunt, then we can save oxygen requirement by around 25% compared with the normal nitrogen removal process. So this will reduce energy consumption. We can also reduce the carbon requirement for nitrogen removal. So this is also quite important because in many wastewater treatment plants, they do not have enough carbon to support satisfactory nitrogen removal. Therefore, they have to add some external carbon source to support nitrogen removal. So this will increase the operating cost. Then if we can achieve nitrite shunt, then we can avoid the addition of external carbon source, then we can reduce the operating cost of the wastewater treatment plant. So in our project, we propose to use urine to achieve this goal. So in our preliminary test, we found that if we expose the sludge to urine, then the NOB can lose their activity, but the AOB can still keep their activity to a large extent. Then based on these preliminary results, so we propose to add a urine-based sludge treatment unit in the wastewater treatment plant. Then every day we treat a fraction of the sludge from the bioreactor in the urine-based sludge treatment unit. And then in this urine-based sludge treatment unit, we expect that NOB will lose their activity, but AOB will keep their activity to a large extent. Then after that, we return the urine treated sludge back to the bioreactor. Then in the long term, we expected that NOB will be gradually washed out from the wastewater treatment system. Then we can keep the AOB. For this one, we need the urine. Then the urine can be from the separate urine collection system. So this urine-based technology actually is more suitable for the wastewater treatment plant, which are close to the separate urine collection system. Because this project, we just started this project, so I haven't got any results. So I just talk about the concept here. Then if we achieve this nitrogen removal while nitrite shunt in the wastewater treatment plant, just as mentioned, we can save the oxygen requirement. Then in that case, we can reduce the energy consumption for nitrogen removal. And then we can also reduce the carbon requirement for nitrogen removal. So if we can reduce the carbon requirement, so in the wastewater treatment plant, if the wastewater treatment plant do not have enough carbon to support nitrogen removal, and then they need to add external carbon source. Then if we can achieve this, then they can avoid the addition of external carbon source. Then in that case, they can reduce their operating cost. Even if for the wastewater treatment plant, they already have enough carbon source. So this will also bring benefits for this wastewater treatment plant, because we can enhance the carbon separation from the primary settler, then but without affecting the nitrogen removal performance. And then this enhanced separated carbon from the wastewater can be added into the anaerobic digester to enhance the biogas production, that is to enhance the energy production. So no matter whether this wastewater treatment plant have enough carbon source or not, so this nitrogen removal while nitrite shunt pathway can still bring benefits to the wastewater treatment plant. So this is basically the idea of this project. Thank you.
So now I would like our four wonderful speakers to please come back onto the ramp, preferably in pipe water. And we do have some decent time now for some Q&A. We do have, actually we've got 30 minutes. So if I could invite, who has the first question? I'm sure there is a question over here. But they're going to sit on their hands, and we're going to have another question from over here, and then we'll go over here. First take it here.
This is for Cheryl. So just interesting work with the MBR. Just thinking of the planet activated carbon. You had to go through it very quickly, but what's the fate of the planet activated carbon? Because I mean, it gets easily separated by an MBR, no problem. But you know, your microcontaminants are consumed in it. And then there's the whole supply chain of planet activated carbon. Maybe it comes from coal, maybe it comes from coconuts. Sort of you comment on, you know, how that fits in the circular economy and how it's disposed of in the treatment.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So we've been debating on that one. So we just now focus on removing micropollutants from there. So I think, yeah, of course, we have to think extra that process that comes. I think with there are techniques, I think, as you know, that how can remove from there. I think after just some chemical addition, remove from there, or just dispose as it is to the third party, and then you don't have to worry. And that sort of things we're looking at, but we didn't really look at the whole system in terms of circular economy, so I can't really answer that yet.
Interesting if it's a source of planet activated carbon. I don't know, biochar, I've seen it with tires. They turn tires into like carbon products.
Yeah.
So waste tires. Yeah, just as an idea.
Can I just make sure, can people at the back here, when people are asking a question or responding here, or do we all need to speak up a tiny bit more?
Just
Fine. Yeah,
the old
okay.
people at the back end.
Great, okay, so let's just remember, we'll just throw our voices a bit more. So I think, okay, we'll have a question here and then we will come to your comments.
So when you look at the micro pollutants, so apart from those 6 pharmaceuticals, did you look at things like PFAS or something else, which is a big problem?
Not really. We haven't really looked at the presence of PFAS in the urine because ours is just the urine. So, any Sean, do you want to comment? Yes, don't comment.
We try from our urine collection system. So this building, we have a 5th floor. So many urine are connected with our urine storage tank. So we tested PFAS, and then we didn't detect any PFAS because this is not much connected with different source or Teflon or pipeline. It's all PVC, so that so far we didn't have any PFAS, unless otherwise human, urine has a little bit of PFAS concentration from fireman or somebody who has a lot of uptake of the PFAS compound. But normally we don't have any urine PFAS concentration. So we are very confident we don't have any problem so far from our past infrastructure, no PFAS.
I may add, doing a lot of work on PFAS at the moment, and actually my students get their blood tested for PFAS because of the exposure, and through the literature, through the tests, it is quite clear PFAS like our red blood cells. So you detect every one of us has PFAS in our blood, but it's not partitioning into. It doesn't really go through the kidneys, so you don't find much of it at all in urine. So that's so urine is good because we work with something that is PFAS free.
It's rare these days, isn't
Yeah.
it?
PFAS free everyone.
PCs do have PFAS.
PFAS do have PFAS because
Yes.
we ingest stuff with PFAS.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna have a question from the patient and down here, and then we'll cover this.
I just want to follow up on the powdered activated carbon chip. There is some literature that suggests that adding PAC helps remove any microbial resistant microorganisms. So as well as the micropollutants, it would be really, we'd like to model the effect of adding that as a sort of critical control step for removal of those AMR, because they're tricky, and that would help us. So I don't care where it comes from. But if we can get it from a circular source, all the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that as a comment. Thank you.
Right. Gary had a question, and then.
Yeah, just a question around the use of antibiotic carbon. Does it actually capture any of the nutrients and prevent them from being utilised, the fertilizer output?
We didn't look at that way because we are just keeping it there and then using it again and again. So we're not, our experiment was just lab scale, so we haven't taken it out. So of course, when you take it out, probably some of the nutrients would go together when you try, because after some time, our target is the micropollutants here. So, but it's possible that some of the nutrients would be absorbed there. But since we're using very limited quantities, I don't think it makes a lot of difference. But our basic target is the micropollutants in that.
So you will test that going forward. You will test whether there's been a drop in nutrient output as a result of the.
Not really. No. We haven't looked at. I don't think it make because the concentration of the pH is so low that I don't think it make any difference. It could be if you do very detailed one, but yeah.
On a similar theme, rather than the powdered activated carbon, you were talking about using little plastic beads for a biofilm.
Yes.
Those plastic beads, of course, are banned in cosmetic products because they pollute waterways.
Yeah.
Is it worth considering when you're looking for something to grow a biofilm that you are looking for a circular economy byproduct that isn't going to be damaging if you start scaling?
I think that's a good question. Yeah, it's a very good question. That, yeah, of course, when we are doing the lab scale research, we just want to see how. So it doesn't matter whether you use plastic or wood base or the biochar base. I think biochar is another one that you need to, I think we should look at. But basically, we're trying to provide something that the bacteria can grow the surface area, because here when we do this just normal MBR, we just basically it's a submerged, what's say this MLS is just growing there. So there's not much surface area for the bacteria to grow, right? So yeah, except for that sludge. But here, when you put this, it provides extra surface area for them to grow and then stick to that. So that gives extra probably for the bacteria to to act and then accelerate the biological nitrification process. So that's from that angle what we're looking, not really from the circular economic point of view. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
So if you used a biochar
Yes.
into a small surface area
Yes.
or something like an algae or
Yes,
some
yeah.
other product that
Yeah.
provide additional benefits as well.
Yes, true. True, yeah, I agree.
John, with the toilet, design, it's basically, to demonstrate the diversion of urine. Is there any sort of plans to be giving away samples of, any product around, the unit, and you go to various events and things? Is that the plan? Like, what are you gonna do with that, diverted urine? What's the end game there?
So your question is, our urine diverted in the trailer.
Yeah, the urine you collected, yeah, where's that going to go?
Okay, so what we designed for the urine, male urinal, so we have a pedestal, female toilet, and then we have a urine diversion system. The urine comes in the middle of the trailer, so we have a little bit of angle, so just gravity can collect all the urine. Then we have a macerator inside the small reactor, and then it's pumping to our middle of the storage tank. The urine keep, whenever you have some portion of the volume, the macerator will keep pumping to our storage tank. Then from there, we can finalize the hydrolyzed urine and then go for the MBR system to convert to the fertilizer. So that's we have already designed some kind of urine diversion. Also feces, it goes to the normal, at this moment, we are not really focusing on biogas, but of course, we are connecting the feces and water, fresh water, in a separate tank. So we have a collection of the feces in the tank, and urine is collecting in the middle of our system. So that's how we can differentiate.
Fertilizer, what's the plan for that fertilizer?
Fertilizer, we plan for, let's say, parkland. So we like to put into our system possibly the Royal Botanic Garden. So one of the space, there are many top class. So we just collect and then convert and then directly we dilute and then supply in the parkland there. Also, City of Sydney, they are very interested in showcasing our nutrient circular economy concept. So we maybe in the Victoria Park near Sydney University there, also Hyde Park or Centennial Park. Also, that's what we are planning to. People move around and they need a toilet and then they pee and they poo and then we can collect and apply directly. So that's the most effective way of our trailer system. But in the future also, yeah, we have a lot of top farm here around the City Science Park, also new airport. So top class, and so we can collect from the Sydney Science Park or airport area, and then we can apply to the farmers, and then they can utilize our fertilizer. Also, golf courses, that's one of our commercial target. So they need a toilet in the middle of the 9 or 10, and then we can put the toilet, and then they can utilize our fertilizer directly. So that's the application we are thinking about.
Can I just ask, sorry, just quickly a follow-up question on that. So Are you saying the MBR system is on, it's all on site? So theoretically, you could then turn a tap on at the back of this trailer and have the fertilizer coming straight out of it?
Yes, because now is a 10 gram per concentration is a little bit of problem. It's too high, very high concentration fertilizer, because most of commercial fertilizer is high concentration mixed with the irrigated water. So say our fertilizer, human urine, hydrolyzed urine is around 10 to 15 gram per liter of the our overall salinity concentration. So we need to dilute less than 1 gram per liter, which means 10 times or 50 times the dilution with your some river water or elevated water. So you can supply directly. So it's true, like
So it's
you
like
can
a
have
cordial, you just need to dilute it.
yeah, dilution, only dilution you need before you take it too high.
I think the question was, could we give away samples of it as a reward? Is that?
And as a communication,
Instead of a token,
kind of,
yeah.
Communication to, you wanna make this
Free sample.
small bottle, they give away to the, also that's the education purpose. Yes, we have already a lot of bottle from this building for last 5 years.
but if you have it on the back, it's powerful and people
Yeah.
walking wonderful.
Right.
You go to the
It's an
toilet or
urine.
something. and
This is-
Yeah, the visual is very
That's also,
powerful.
yeah, that's the education purpose, yes, so that's the reason why that sort of potential collaboration, how is we are ready for mobile trainer system, so we can combine like educational purpose, so we have a video, LCD monitor, the toilet, so we can have a TV monitor, so we can have a basic concept of what the nuclear circular economy, how this will convert to fertilizer from our waste. So now we are preparing this kind of educational program video as well as some sample like we can put some sample.
Would you have a preference for, if it is that on-site thing, if someone can come, go to the toilet and then if they want, take a bottle as they leave, would you be allowed to do that depending on whose land you're on? Do you need approvals?
As long as we got approval, that should be all, because safety concern of the people maybe misuse or something like that. Yeah.
A little seedling that's being fertilized with it, that's safe.
I think so.
Anyway, sorry to ask so many questions, there were more coming up.
Mine's actually completely related. I was going to ask if there's going to be a launch when the NiCE Loo is ready, some kind of promotional launch.
Right.
Of course, we could then record it.
Yes, that's what we do. It will be ready in November, next month, very soon. So I think that we need your help to make a more visible your podcasting competition or some of your way of the promotion. Also, we need some kind of city council, they can apply directly. So we can possibly work with Professor Joe. He has a token. So he has a web already available from his previous experience. So we just change the coding and then like our urine and then make 1 gram of the urine can convert like this way and then so we can have a lot of potential collaboration from this trainer system.
I was gonna ask, like, it's great, the NiCE Loo, but in the picture, it's kind of like, it's pretty simple and it's functional, but it's not super visually capturing. So I'm wondering if we have like any design students or architects involved.
Ibram is planning to do that. Exactly, yeah, that's a good point.
What was the question?
The question is of outside design of our trainer.
We're still working with Southeast, so that subcontract with the designer, graphic designer, so what I think
Yeah, particularly.
So they made a design, but well, I don't have it done.
No.
Yeah, it won't be like. It won't be
No.
like, it won't be like, it will be a combination of showing the message of how unit becomes advanced, basically, or the nutrients from unit becoming advanced. So we're still in work, it's work in progress. We haven't at the point where we can show something. And so the design has been available. we've tried to find comprehensively can do that. It'd be good to have some sort of survey, like a digital, with the person at the urinal or whatever, just a couple of questions, you know, would you use your own urine as a fertilizer or something? Somewhere you can do a survey, interactive survey while they're around the unit, and so you collect the data on.
That's
Is that
exactly
good?
say that, yeah, he's a said is from the Griffith University. Now he has all the questionnaire and he's planning to ask that kind of thing.
I have also a question, it's more related to social acceptance in design. Something that's pretty technical stuff. We worked on this from the health risks and, you know, when people have all these stomach thoughts, some have all these thoughts. And there was one thing that came to my mind is, if in design or social acceptance, it's considered that there's also menstrual blood in the urine injection. I think this could potentially be a factor, and also that it could also have a pathogen potentially. And for example, I had in a previous office in Ethiopia, our water supply wasn't working for 2 days, and obviously one of my colleagues definitely was on a period and all toilet was full of blood. So I'm wondering how this works with the urine and virgin toilet. I tried to, and then the second thing is, I actually tried to reach out to the manufacturer, but he never responded regarding similar questions. For example, if the toilet is also designed for children, if it still works, so these kind of things. I'm wondering how well this kind of work in practice with these manufacturers.
Well, that's a good question. Because of particularly the visuals of blood in the toilet. I think there needs to be a way to put some water in if needed. For the Queensland trial, we'll have these minimal flushes that will take care of it. For Laufen is a purely waterless system. So I think that is there anything in vision to have some water that they can use to flush if something goes wrong? Or say, if, you know, even the feces, you know, sometimes
Cross contamination.
you know, they could, you know, have gastro and basically just send pieces through everywhere, and then there's a possibility to rinse it. That would be pretty much a showstopper. Like,
Do you have a sign? Do not use this toilet if you've got gastro.
you know, gastro.
I can see the people are not logical when they're working.
It's the standard one.
Going to be the cleaners, do you have the training up cleaners to clean these public toilets, or what's the?
At this moment, yeah, ambient operator and our student poster will take care of the initially. But yeah, Southeast was they are happy to allocate some cleaner, and then because once it's well stabilize the system, so they will employ the cleaner for this nice no purpose.
You should train them well, and you know, as you know,
absolutely.
Dina Pham and the work that they did here, spent a lot of time working with facilities management here and the cleaners, because there's a lot of work that needed to be done. But with the menstrual blood thing, I feel like that's always been related with urine diversion. And even, you know, you look at Sydney Water's community campaigns and they talk about 3 Ps. The only things you can put down the toilet is, you know, pee, poo, and toilet paper. And I've trained my 5-year-old boy to also know that, you know, the 4th P is period blood, because you don't talk about it, but it is acceptable. Half the population, you know, menstruate at some point, and these toilets have to be able to cope with it. So, and also the communication has to be able to say that, you know, yes, it is okay to have your period and still use this urine diverting toilet. Like, it has to be part of it. We have to be able to talk about the 3rd P.
Vomit and
And vomit, yeah, all of it. Let's get it all out. Yeah.
Protect all of it, that's the
So we've got 4 Ps. Do we have a 5th P, anyone?
We're gonna have lunch now.
Perfect note. right?
Yeah.
Would anyone like to change the topic before we go to lunch to sort of break it up a bit? Yeah, we have. Yeah.
This is a message from my one of the teams. So they asked us to put our emphasis on interview actually. So in addition to a survey, so survey is very important, I believe. So to propaganda or persuade people what we are going to have, unanimous or majority persons agree to this one. But we are engineers, so some of us, we are very good at osmosis when desalination process with membrane. But we also we have a language, so that then we try to get some semi-osmosis. So from our thinking, variable thinking, so in terms of interviews, interview is very few persons, so selected from a typical age, typical gender, typical race. I'm not sure, so that's a sensitive issue, but so once we have an interview from the people use your rule and other things are exposed to your activity, so they have a special opinion, then we get the essence out of it, and then we can have a very good feeling, propaganda, and the translation of all the word into other words. So that's the, even if a very small, the selected person of the interview, so that then we can get a lot of good impact into the special design, the systematic work, I believe. So I'm not sure you have those teams, but that's a very, very good opportunity, I believe, to get at some kind of communities and solidarity.
How about the web you develop? So whether we can put that kind of a question and people.
Yeah, that's the survey, but
Yes.
that's the sociological approach, but I'm not, so I'm advising a kind of an anthropology approach with interview. So that's a different perspective we can get from different person with your root and urine and fertilizer, a lot of different things.
Okay, we will consider that.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, question on that. We have just a few more minutes. So
A quick question for Sean. From the MBR process perspective, how long would it take for urine to be converted into fertilizer? Is it a very quick process that you see and you the fertilizer product is ready?
So in fact, this technology you got, so which means it's a more physical, even though it's a biological, but physically he can very quickly membrane. So it can, like ammonia can pass through the cationic membrane, and then phosphate can pass through the anionic membrane. So it's like a membrane, so you can have maybe within an hour, you can convert the urine to fertilizer. But his concentration also, he has mainly ammonia-based fertilizer. So that's the different fertilizer he will produce, but he's basically physical separation. For our MBR, like our technology, we convert, depending on the urea, your urea converted to ammonia. Ammonia concentration, we can convert to nitrate. So depending on your concentration, the unit, we just say normally 5 grams per liter of ammonia concentration based on our region. So it takes around 1 day to convert to ammonia to nitrate. So that's the very ideal fertilizer we can produce. But you know, we don't have to go for 1 day, depending on how much you have your urine. So we can make a little bit shorter. Then you have a less urine, so you can have a little bit longer. So depending on our users, so we can make some change of the speed of the change of your fertilizer. So it can be like let's say 6 hours to 1 day. We can manage to convert to the biological MBR process. For this process, physically we can do one hour, within 1 hour, it's a half an hour. So different fertilizer we can produce. So that's the difference. But we can have, depending on the application, or we need to finished within 1 hour, then we can go for this technology. But we need more ammonium nitrate balanced some biostimulant from the biologically assimilated our fertilizer unit, better performance. So you can go for our MBR process. So you can have an option in terms of speed and the quality of fertilizer.
All right, do we have one very last quick question before we go for lunch or? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that relates to that quick question. With regard to like not point of source, you have the, like say you're collecting urine from a, I don't know, like a concert, it's 12 hours away, and then you want to process that somewhere else. Is that affected, like the time from point of source to when you process it? Like will that change the amount of nitrogen fixation you're getting in the system, or anything that could compromise the levels of nutrients?
I think the change is because of hydrolysis. When you have a fresh urine, so there is no ammonia, just urea. Urea is existing. If you put the vinegar, some like, you have a vinegar or a little bit low pH material. So this urea cannot convert it to the ammonia. So you can continuously keep your fresh urine, maybe several weeks or months, if you have a less pH. But if you have a lot of urea enzyme or some bacteria, and then this urea quickly converted to within just 1 hour. Within 1 hour, hydrolyze your urea to ammonia. And the ammonia you can continuously evaporate from your maybe 10 hours, 12 hours distance from concert to your treatment process. So we can manage each manageable way of the system. We can think about the chemistry of the urine, the distance. Okay, we can process it there, or we can just put the pH change, and we don't have to worry about anything. So we can manage that kind of problem.
If I can add, not the end of the world if it hydrolyzes, as long as it's a closed container, so the ammonia doesn't leave. And once it's hydrolyzed, it can be kept for a year and nothing changes. So that's what we want to retain is still there. But we did some preliminary numbers, and we found that the moment you go beyond 10, 20 kilometers away, the cost of transport will kill. I mean, if you're trying to sell the product, then it doesn't stack up anymore. So just because of the cost of putting it in a tanker and moving that volume over distance. So obviously, 10 hours away, it would be crazy. It will never work. But in terms of economics.
That's great. That's a really good question and answer discussion to end on. So please thank our wonderful session 2 speakers. Stefano, is there anything else you'd like to say before we move to lunch? We've got 40 minutes, I understand.
So after lunch, we can show the lab, lab tour. So somebody who like to visit to the lab, so we can just overnight just like the lab visit, lab tour. So you can have a lunch within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then let you go upstairs together, and then let's have a fun for our lab tour. Yeah.
You want to mention your workshop and let people know what you have?
Yeah, we start around 10:03. We have 20-minute workshops to scope health risks, and it'd be great if we start on time because both of us have to.
Yeah, we've got a high pressure set of brain teas, but we really need your input. So
He's only before 3.
So yeah, so just to reinforce if anyone wants to go on the tour, grab your lunch 10 minutes because we want to be back here starting for session 3. Stefano, it's you who's going to be chairing, I understand, back here at 1:50.
Yeah, we can, sorry, just confirm. Bernadette couldn't join, and then Sarah had to go late, so we have cancellation of 2 presentations. Unless I hear back from Bernadette in the next hour. So we can start at 1.
Let's still keep moving because that would be more time to the
more
workshop.
time for the discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and workshop.
So we stick to the 150, return and restart.
Just with the workshop, we need you to sign a little consent form so that which Johannes got. So maybe we can hand them out on the table.
Yeah, I can put it on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just sleepy.
We're done development presentation.
Which one?
Ah, that one. Yeah. Maybe the last session, session 4. I think. Yeah.
That you will do it. Well, like this.
Or you just take it.
No, I said 6 months ago. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, can you? Yeah. Is this so much for me? Do you want to open it?
This one, yeah. It's already up. Just leave it up.
Thank
yeah.
you.
All right, thank you. It's already, I'll just pull it in.
Thank you.
Can we do a test? If I talk from my PC, see if you can see my PC.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I will go there. Or bring my PC or I just share my PC and talk and then see if you can hear me on the speakers.
Okay.
Because Leo will be sharing and then speaking. Sharing my screen, I can see. So, okay. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen. How can you get my screen from the? Okay, yep.
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, maybe, yes. Involved with, well, the company, 20 years involved in organic agriculture. And then our side speakers too. Can I try to speak?
Hello, hello. Can't hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Can we connect speakers? How can we connect the speakers there?
So when someone shows the video, it was the sound is on.
Yeah, but this people talking here, but the video will join from YouTube.
I mean, this computer sound was open to this room.
Okay, so why you can't hear me now? Because I'm speaking in the meeting. Hello, 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 hello. What is talking?
Like a system I'm not sure about the atmosphere exactly. Yes. Anyone was
Oh, hello.
Oh, at the moment, it's just like chicken manure.
Close HDMI. You are connected to HDMI, isn't it?
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. That's what saves us from any,
Hello, 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 hello. No. What was before? Which one was before?
So it's coming from here, so I'll change it.
Hello, hello. Let me try from my mobile.
Yeah, definitely.
Hello, hello. Why is it not? Hello, hello. Well, you can. I can speak now, isn't it? Can you hear me? Increase the volume a little bit from your. Hello, hello.
Can you do it again?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me there?
Maybe volume.
Could you play some video there and then see if it's.
Put a video here.
Yeah, just reduce the volume and then play it. Hello, hello.
There is no possibility to be. Yeah.
So why you compare the so that the laptop is connected?
Yeah.
Could you go to Zoom settings? Zoom audio settings? No, not here, go to the microphone. Did you pause the recording or did you pause the recording? Showing the settings?
Yeah, I changed
Change
it.
the settings
Yeah.
to that one. Okay. So I'll pause the. Okay, so now we know.
Understanding.
Fine, you can pause the recording when John, and then we record again after lunch.
There you go. So afternoon session, we'll have three speakers. So the first, Bernadette will not be making it, so we will start from the second speaker. The session is called fertilizer optimization, but under the umbrella we have talks basically about everything. So